My name is Griffin Kennedy. I'm a 2022 graduate of St. Joseph's University with a sports marketing degree. I work for the Philadelphia Eagles as an account executive in corporate partnerships, and I'm going on my third season with the team. So as an account executive in corporate partnerships for the Philadelphia Eagles, my main goal is to sell the Philadelphia Eagles trademark rights to companies at the international, national, and local level so they can use their logo against ours. So whether that's companies locally, such as Arita's Water Ice, calling themselves a proud partner of the Philadelphia Eagles, all the way up to a Lincoln Financial, who is our official and exclusive financial services partner, and everything in between. So with that comes a slew of different assets, stadium signage that you'll see inside Lincoln Financial Field that gets picked up on TV. Obviously, brand awareness is a huge goal and objective of a lot of the companies that we talk to in and around this area. Social and digital assets. So if you're looking at Instagram or Facebook or any other social media tool, and you'll see, win for versus Cowboys Sunday night game at Lincoln Financial Field. If you visit their website, if you sign up for their specific services. Hospitality is a big one. So the ability to use our stadium for events, the ability to bring different companies, whether they're prospects or the top clients that these companies have, specifically with a Lincoln Financial or a NovaCare in our area, that gives companies a great way to promote their brand and really incentivize different employees to meet their goals, to meet their needs. And so that's kind of basically a day-to-day basis is changes every day, which is probably my favorite part of the job. Some days we're building out decks. Some days we're heading into Philly or New York or Boston for different meetings with different top companies in and around the market, but in and around the country as well. So again, it changes every day, but that's kind of the gist of what we do from a day-to-day basis. So my pathway through St. Joseph's was as a sports marketing major. I went through the core classes freshman, sophomore year, and then towards the second semester of sophomore year, I started digging into the sports law and the sports business, and that really kind of struck my interest. And with that, I was a 4-year manager for St. Joseph's University's men's basketball team. So I had the opportunity to my first year under Coach Martelli, and then 3 years under Billy Lang. And they have really been instrumental and really great mentors to me throughout just not only the ins and outs of the industry, but also being mentors and really trying to seeing the sports world in a different lens. So obviously, with being a manager, we would do anything such as set up practice, set up game days, travel with the team, but with that, I realized that there's so much more that goes into the day-to-day operations of the actual sports world. And going into it, through getting the job here with the Eagles, when I first started, I wasn't technically sure what corporate sales means, what partnerships meant, but it's really through just being a sponge and really absorbing all information and reading and going through different tools to kind of really master what I do. Obviously, I'm not a master in any sense. I'm continuously learning and evolving every single day, especially in the NFL. It is a world of adaptability, and the way that we're able to market ourselves, not only at the national level, not only at the local level, but now with having international marketing rights in Australia, New Zealand, and Ghana, I get to see the sports world through an international piece as well. So a lot of people, when they think of the NFL, they think of mostly just the United States. But as the NFL continues to evolve and continue to push different countries and different organizations all throughout the world, it's been really great to see kind of how our fan base has grown through St. Joe's. Obviously, so there was one class in particular that I had with Professor Gene Wisniewski called Sports Selling and Sales. And that really struck my interest and kind of got me to where I wanted to be, to see the sports world through a different lens. So St. Joe's, as they continue to evolve. The sports marketing program has been amazing since I've been there. JP Lutz and crew do a great job of really bringing everyone together and bringing people such as myself as guest speakers or lecturers. All of that information and all of that time that industry professionals in and around the area take is a huge opportunity for kids to learn and grow within themselves. So to be successful, especially in my role here within the Philadelphia Eagles, it requires a bunch of different things. A balance of sales skills, relationship management, strategic thinking, and a deep understanding of the actual sports industry in itself. So within my role, it's a role that demands creativity, it demands a lot of resilience, and obviously a passion for delivering value to both the NFL, our partners, and our prospective partners. So the biggest skill, especially in our department, in our world, is relationship building. Building and maintaining strong long-term relationships is absolutely critical within what we do. So this includes regular communication, understanding the goals and needs of the companies or prospects that we are talking to, ensuring their satisfaction with the partnership is getting everything they put into it out of it. So return on investment, the credibility in and around our market. So the ability to have your logo up against ours in any out of home that you do, or you're driving on 95, or you're watching NBC 10 and you see your logo, different commercials that we have. Those are all assets that we sell in and amongst our deals. And I always say to individuals that are trying to get into the sales industry, I know I touched on it earlier, but just to be a sponge, meaning actively absorb all knowledge, all information and insight from experienced professionals as possible within your surroundings. And through St. Joe's and through being a sports marketing major and through being a member of the sports marketing club, I had the opportunity to listen to representatives from the Sixers and representatives from the Charlotte Hornets, et cetera, et cetera. And that really has just gained my knowledge to really kind of attack an industry or attack a profession in this specific industry, because I realized that there's so much value and there's so much that goes into it that you just actively have to pursue exactly what you want to do to be successful. So the biggest thing, for me, obviously being a sports marketing major is to enter some sort of club. So I was in the sports marketing club in St. Joseph's. I know the AMA, the American Marketing Association, does an awesome job at St. Joseph. I was actually on a panel with a couple individuals at St. Joe's speaking a couple months ago with them, and I was very impressed. I think they were going down to New Orleans to compete in a national competition against some of the top universities in the world. So that's really, really great to see. Being a manager of the Eagles was obviously, or being a manager of the basketball team was obviously a big component to, getting into this industry, really wanting to pursue a career in sports. But other than that, it's really just about getting involved. And whether that's working at Hagan Arena for a basketball game, whether that's volunteering at the soccer or lacrosse games, you don't have to be a manager of the team, but to really get to know each side of the business differently, you all have to you have to see how everything operates and how everything works in that sense. So I would say those were some of the biggest things for me, and then really what pursued me to target St. Joseph's as a corporate partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. So this past October, St. Joe's became the official higher education partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. And I was extremely, extremely excited and thrilled to be kind of at the forefront of that with our chief operating officer, who's also a St. Joseph's University grad. Just to kind of build a pipeline for students to have a direct access and direct pathway to work with an NFL team, to work with the most professional, the biggest professional brand in the city of Philadelphia, but also a brand that people love and people enjoy and love to associate themselves with. So one of my favorite parts about working for the Eagles and working in the sports industry is whether it's Mr. Laurie, who starts at the top, or myself, we're all brand ambassadors for the Philadelphia Eagles. So whenever we're out in the community or doing different initiatives or partnering with different companies, it says a lot about the brand, how we're able to kind of be at the forefront of everything and really kind of see how everything operates and see how everything works kind of within the industry and within the organization itself. So this is one of my favorite topics to talk about just because how important it is, especially in our industry, really whatever industry you go into, it's all strictly relationship driven. So obviously the biggest thing for growing your personal network is to start early. So begin networking as soon as possible. Obviously, LinkedIn is one of the best tools that we have, especially nowadays, with just connecting to industry professionals, connecting to the extensive St. Joe's alumni network that is so strong and so powerful, which is a huge thing. And obviously, the earlier the start, the earlier that you have time to build and nurture these big relationships and what you want to make. Obviously, attending events is a huge one as well. Encourage participation in events and career fairs and guest lectures. These are all prime opportunities to meet professionals in and around, really, and you don't know what you want to do until you really hear from it. So, really kind of go out of your comfort zone, get involved, obviously attend events, join clubs and organizations. That's a huge one as well. But I would also say a huge thing that I struggled with when I was kind of building my, as I'm still building my personal network, is I had to do a better job of following up. So after meeting someone, myself, students should send, the biggest thing that, my dad taught me back in the day was to write thank you cards. So whether it's someone who spoke to you during class, find out their address, write them, 2 sentences on a thank you card. It's a great way to learn and really, have them remember you. Emails and text are great, but, if you never know who's hiring, and they could have, your thank you card right there on their desk, and they're like, let's give Griffin a call, or let's give Scott a call. And then just staying organized, I would say, is another huge networking tip. So keeping an eye on your contacts, conversations, and then, like I said, keeping those follow-ups is really crucial as you kind of network and manage a lot of your relationships. So diversity and inclusion to me is all about making sure everyone feels welcome and that every voice is heard and valued, especially in the industry that you really want to go into. And what really is extremely, extremely important to me is that each individual that you encounter with, you want to respect, you want to celebrate their differences, you want to strive to create an environment where everyone can thrive. And, going back to my example, being brand ambassadors for the Eagles, we all have the same goal, and that's to bring Lombardi trophies to Philadelphia, and, to really generate revenue for the organization. So, any way to kind of do that is really how you want to stand out. And it's about being intentional in your actions and to ensure that these principles are lived out, not only in your personal life, but also your professional life as well. And then kind of just going into, the sports industry itself. So it's really, really extremely highly competitive with so many candidates that are coming from all different kinds of backgrounds for a small, limited number of positions. So standing out, amongst a large group, large pool of candidates, applicants can be challenging. But as long as you have the determination to be successful and stand out, it will help kind of cut through the clutter and separate yourselves amongst some of the other candidates. And, you can do that by leveraging your skills, building strong relationships, staying adaptable, and obviously continuously seeking growth opportunities can address some of these barriers and pave the way for a successful career. So I know I touched on it a bit earlier, but LinkedIn is the biggest and best tool that I believe that we have. Obviously, all the other social media is great, but LinkedIn in specifically gets you access and gets you the opportunity to connect with industry professionals. Obviously, if they're St. Joe's, if they're St. Joe's alumni, including myself, like I love when individuals reach out to me for help, reach out to me for advice, et cetera, kind of, help, they want to help pave the way for them so they can have a career, if not the Eagles, in some other capacity throughout different teams that we have throughout, the city. And the sports world is extremely, extremely small. There's only so many of our departments. There's only so many, senior vice presidents of corporate partnerships in the entire NFL, in the entire sports world in general. But everyone has a relationship. And say you come to, you reach out to myself, but we don't have something open within our organization. I have really good relationships with the Flyers and the Phillies and the Sixers, et cetera, that I can pass you along and just continue to be a sponge, continue to evolve, continue to learn. Some other things that are really important, especially in the sports world, is staying on top of different, just really things that are going on throughout the league. So, like I said, the NFL is continuing to evolve. So, catch up on Sports Business Journal. That's the first thing I read every morning when I wake up. Front Office Sports is another great tool. But really just kind of keep up with different industry trends is a huge thing. Especially in my world, you want to know who's partnering with who. You want to know, what teams are playing where, in what markets specifically, if there's international markets that you may have. And then really just reaching out to different individuals. So say we're playing the Green Bay Packers, for instance, next week in Brazil. Although I'm not going to Brazil, I'm still reaching out to individuals on the Packers team, asking how their offseason went, just really kind of connecting them, getting to know them on a personal basis. Same thing goes for, all other 17 games that we'll have throughout the year. I continuously reach out to different individuals, and they travel. A lot of them travel to Philadelphia on away games, and just have the ability to connect with them before the game. Really just, again, building your own personal network, building your own brand within yourself, I think is extremely important. So I know I touched on it a bit earlier, but being in the sports industry is highly competitive, and it's a strong importance of building an industry-specific network. So whether that's volunteering at Hagan Arena or volunteering in numerous opportunities here at Lincoln Financial Field, doing scanning tickets, working 50/50, working merchandise sales at Zach Bryan, at Taylor Swift, et cetera, are all opportunities to get your foot in the door, which will eventually make you stand out. So I would also say the power of learning from industry leaders. St. Joe's does a great job of that, but sometimes I might not paid attention as much as I did, or sometimes I, might be looking down at my computer when someone from the Sixers was speaking to us, or someone from an iGaming company was speaking to us. So this tool allows you to connect with these professionals, which can provide insights, mentorships, and really kind of help understand the landscape of what it takes to succeed really in any role. So, obviously St. Joe's does a great job of getting your foot in the door by listening to these industry professionals, but, make sure you're connected, make sure you're engaged within some of these conversations, and it can obviously lead to, opportunities with, we had individuals speak with us when I was at St. Joe's, and now I'm working with them. So it's, you never know who you're going to run into. You never know, who's going to introduce you to who. So, always have a positive attitude, always have a smile on your face, and go into every event, go into every, classroom with a positive mindset, and really, just be engaged as much as possible.